A very good evening to dear CS members and students. I, on behalf of the Institute, extend a very warm welcome to all of you. As you all may be aware that the Institute is celebrating CS Student Month in July, so here wishing everyone a very happy CS Student Month. The Institute came up with the initiative to hold the Student Month in July 2016. Since then, number of activities are being organized during the month of July every year. The objective of Student Month is to create belongingness and enthusiasm amongst the students. The zeal and enthusiasm of the students, various directorates, and the region and chapter office in celebrating the Student Month has been unprecedented since then. The contribution and guidance extended to us by our respected President Sir, Vice President Sir, Secretary Sir, and Joint Secretary Sir in inception of Student Month is immense and can't be expressed in mere words. Further, as you all know that over the years, celebration of Student Month has become one of the major activities. The Institute is receiving an overwhelming response from the students and members. The student participating in the Student Month with excitement and zeal, and this has translated to a good connect of the student with the Institute. To make the Student Month more remarkable, it has been decided to take the Student Month to the next higher level by adding new activities and events, so the impetus would be given to zeal and enthusiasm of the students. Now let me share some of the major highlights of the CS month with all of you. During this month, the Institute will be organizing various competitions, launch of special initiative like memorial lectures in the memory of our late great leaders, classes of specific skills, Zero Grievance Day, Kargil Divas, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Career Awareness Week, and many more other activities. This month is going to witness all of this event and much more. So my dear members and students, today is a special day as we are remembering our beloved leader, late CS H.M. Charoria ji, through a memorial lecture on the topic Avenues for Practice. In this occasion, we are having with us CS Sandeep Kejriwal ji, Council Member ICSI, Shri CS Mahesh Shah, and CS Anil Murarka ji, past President ICSI. They all will be joining us as the guest speaker on the occasion. The Institute has taken this special initiative to pay tribute and homage to our great leader who have significantly contributed to the profession of CS and have been driving force behind the success of ICSI. Our Honorable Vice President Sir CS Manish Gupta ji is the guiding force behind this initiative. The Institute had already organized various memorial lectures as a tribute from our side to remember our great leader who are no more with us in this journey but are fondly remembered by all for the legacy they left behind to be followed. These lectures are appreciated by one and all. Their contribution, vision and guidance has provided greater heights to the CS fraternity. The Institute cannot thank them enough for their contribution. As today we are organizing a memorial lecture in the memory of late CS H.M. Charoria ji, it is a great privilege for me to be part for this session and would like to share his contribution and profile with all of you. Sir was elected to the apex position as the President of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India for the year 2006. He looked after company law, corporate law, security laws, economic law, taxation, management consultancy, drafting of legal documents, and CLB matters. He was a member, Corporate Law Subcommittee of Bengal National Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Kolkata. He had regular interaction with regulating agencies like MCA, Company Law Board, Stock Exchange, and other departments of central and state government. He was also associated with a large number of NGOs, professionals, social and cultural organizations, and had served director on private limited companies. He also served as a visiting faculty at various professional institutions. He was a member of the National Advisory Committee on Accounting Standard 2006 to 2007. Now please allow me to give a brief presentation on his contribution to the profession of company secretaries. He has done a lot more for the institute. It is just gist of his achievement. The work done by Sir could not be described through presentation, though we try our best to cover some of his achievement. IT team, may I request you to please play the presentation? This is about the journey of Sir at ICSI. Sir served as a chairman of the Eastern Indian Regional Council of the ICSI during 1997 and 1998, president of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, New Delhi for the year 2006, president of International Federation of Company Secretaries during 2006. Next slide, please. President of Lions Club of Calcutta East for the year 1995-96, District Chairman of Service Project of Lion Club International District 32 to B during 1996-97 and 2004 to 2005. Member Corporate Law Subcommittee of Bengal National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kolkata. Next slide, please. Convener of Joint Study Circle meeting of Association of Corporate Advisors and Executives, Kolkata, with the Institute of Company Secretaries of India and the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. Associated with large number of NGOs, professional, social and cultural organization. Member National Advisory Committee on Accounting Standard 2006 to 7. Thank you. So this was a small video and presentation. We try to deliver on the memory of late Sri C.S. H.M. Choraria ji. By seeing video, the environment became very emotional. His contribution to the profession of CS is unparalleled. He was extremely soft-spoken, gentle, and a great leader. Now let's take this session further with a promise to take his legacy forward by taking the profession of CS to greater and newer heights. Today is indeed a special day, as on this occasion we are having with us the family members of late CS H.M. Choraria ji, daughter Miss Priyanka Jain and his son Shri Amit Choraria ji. I welcome both of you in today's program.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Miss Priyanka Jain is like her father, very approachable and liked by one and all. I would request Madam to speak about Sir, who has been an inspiration to many. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, it is audible, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you everyone here. First of all, I would like to thank the Indian Institute of Company Secretaries of India for organizing this program. Further, I want to thank the office bureaus of Central and Regional Council. I also record my thanks to all the speakers of this program, including Regional Council member Shri Sandeep Kejriwal ji, our past president Shri Anil Murarka ji, and Shri Mahesh Shah ji. Blessed are the ones who have father, and fortunate are the ones who has father like him. I still believe that my father is with me, as the values, the teachings, the discipline, the smile, the aura which he has given me will always be there till I die. So my father is there with me till I die. He was a quiet man, but again very sociable. He was a man of few words, with every letter as precious as gem. I remember he always used to tell me to deal every situation with patience and never to panic and judgmental. He always used to tell me to spread love and to smile in every situation. I always remember my father as my life's one and only superhero, whose position nobody can take. When I was a kid, I just said my father once that I want my own car. And my father, just to fulfill my wish, he just learned driving and soon we got a car. Once in a marriage function of our cousin sister, I said my dad that I want the jewelry of the bride. And on the next day, he bought me a gold set. And I was just nearly 10 years old. He was a unique father. He never scolded us, never in his life raised his voice on us. Still, we were always afraid of him, as he never wanted to hurt him. He had great patience in developing us. If we made a mistake, he ignored, gave us next chance to do it again. Until we tried and failed till we succeeded. By nature, he was as high as Himalaya, as vast as sky, as deep as sea, and I was always most lovable. His relationship with us was more like just a best friend who was there to listen to us when we were alone, help and support us at all times. When I would talk with him, I would load off all my worries to him and always felt relieved. I feel proud of you, Papa, not because you have achieved great heights in your profession and career, more because of your simple loving nature. His hobbies included watching movies, listening to music, etc. Sometimes he used to ask us children, take us for movies, and he always used to fulfill like all my dreams. Like whatever I used to say, he used to do everything, whatever I felt. While I speak, my heart is filled with loving memories of my father. And all I can say right now is just that I just miss him. I just miss him. I feel like he's there only. But I really miss him. And I want that he should not have ever gone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I can understand the pain and angry you are going through. Thank you so much for your words of wisdom. Now we are also having with us his son, Sri Amit Choraria ji. He is a fellow member of the ICSI and ICAI, insolvency professional and forensic auditor. Our request, you please share some memories of sir with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can hear me, na?
Yes, sir, you're over.
Right. Dear brothers and sisters, dear brother and sisters, along with my mother and entire family, want to thank the Institute of Company Secretaries of India and the entire Central Council, Regional Council team, the support team for organizing this program in the memory of my father. I want to thank all the person who are attending this program, especially Sri Sandeep Kejriwal ji, Sri Anil Muradka ji and Sri Mahesh Shah ji, who will speak after me. Pranam to you all. I have spent most of my life with my father, and I'm sharing a few points that come to my mind now. He was a great learner. To his last day, I had always found him with books. He was always updated even on accounting standards, IFRS, international taxation, transfer pricing issues, family laws. In office, most of the time I found him reading or studying or thinking. He had vast knowledge about all the subjects, and when he deliberated on them with friends and relatives or with public at large, all were spellbound with his knowledge and with the points that he used to make. He was extremely modest and humble, highly approachable and responsive. He was a problem solver. I had a practice to going to him for every work that I did, be audit, valuation, IBC, anything I did, I used to go to him and got his approval before I gave out the work to the clients. He was a great manager, time manager. He was on board of numerous listed companies and was on full-time profession. But he always had time for me. Whenever I approached him, he would give his complete time to me. He was a great advisor to family, friends, and relatives, ever ready to help. He had advised on various separation and partition matters. He used to secretly help so many people. Even I was sitting next to his chambers. I never knew how many people he helped. After he had gone, I now come to know. At home, he was more like a dependable father. From pin to plane, everything he used to arrange. We only used to tell him that, Papa, I want this. Then he would arrange for it. I attended one of his classes as a student, and I remember till date he advised every student that we should aspire to be number one professional. He was a very supportive father who would have complete confidence on his children and always inspired us to try till we succeed, to ensure that we succeed. He was extremely successful professional. He never enforced his success on his children and never forced them to give their best. But subtly, he organized and planned the development of his children in such a way that after he is no more, we are guided by his principle and approach. He has earned so much of respect in the society and profession that after he is gone, I never have any problem in getting genuine guidance from his friends who treat me like their brother, to say the least. He was a great believer in God and destiny. He used to tell me sometimes that everybody don't have father around them all their life. But after he is gone, I think he has merged in God. I can experience his presence in everything now. I never expected to move without him, even for a day, even for an inch. It is more than 1 year that he has gone now, and he has moved with God. I've still been guided by him, by his words, by his action, by his passion. And I feel that he's around us. When my father was born, a sage told my grandmother that a king was born to her. Yes, he was a king, not only of his profession, but also the ruler of heart of all. I remember Sri Hanumanta Raju sir, he told once that he's Ajasatru. He had no enemies. All loved him. Thank you so much. Thank you so much from God of my heart for your love and blessing. Look forward for your patronage and blessing in future also, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thanks, ma'am.
Participation in the event has made it all more special, exceptional, and emotional at the same time. Thank you so much, ma'am, for participating in this event. After listening words from Priyanka and Amit ji, I just want to say that a great soul serves everyone all the time. A great soul never dies. It brings us together again and again. With this note, I just want to again thanks everyone from the family, Ms. Priyanka, ma'am, Shri Amit ji. We are really indebted. Thank you so much for your participation. Now let's take the session ahead. We will now start the memorial lecture, for which we have CS Sandeep Kejriwal ji, Council Member ICSI, CS Mahesh Shah and CS Anil Murarka ji, past President. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our request and kindly agreeing to address the member and student of the Institute during online memorial lecture on the topic Avenues for Practice, being organized by ICSI in the loving memory of our great leader, late CS H.M. Choraria ji. We are sure that the participants will be immensely benefited by your enriched experience. It is our great honor and privilege to have all of you here with us. To start with CS Sandeep Kejriwal, sir. But before I hand over the session to sir, I would like to share his brief profile. CS Sandeep Kejriwal ji is a past chairman of the Eastern India Regional Council of the Institute, ICSI, in the year 2016. A fellow member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. He is a commerce graduate. He has been in practice since 1999. He has more than 15 years of experience in corporate law, banking. He is a renowned practicing secretary in Kolkata. We welcome you, sir, and request you to kindly share your experience with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you, Nidhi. Respected Sri Mahesh Shah ji, respected Sri Anil Murarka ji, my brother Amit Choraria ji, my sister Priyanka, Nidhi, and all the students and members who have joined this webinar. Very lovely good afternoon to all of you. Friends, I really appreciate the thoughts of our President Devendra Deshpande ji and especially our Vice President Manish Gupta ji to start this type of memorial webinar in the memory of all our pillar of ICSI, all our past president of ICSI, and because of who today we stand here. And moreover, we ICSI also plan to request our past presidents to address this memorial webinar. Today we have our two past presidents, Sri Mahesh ji and respected Sri Anil Murarka ji. My heartfelt thanks to all, both of them, to give your kind consent and to address us. Friends, just to add what Mr. Amit Choraria and that they are the of Amit ji and Priyanka, I just want to add here that he is not the father of only Amit and Priyanka. He is father of all of us. And we are always available for. Mr. Nidhi rightly said that he has no enemy. In our political life, when we fight election, we create some enemies. But I can assure myself and all of you that Choraria sir has no enemy. Choraria sir was the best PCS in Kolkata. And I learned from him that our documents preparation to be submitted with any regulator should be prepared very hard. Very hard means to the point. But my submission to the regulator should be with very patience. So this kind of learning we had with Choraria sir, and he was having very soft nature, and he was a great leader. He has taken to ICSI a new height and fixed a milestone for all our next successors. As we all know that ICSI under the leadership of our President Devendra Deshpande ji are getting new recognitions every day. Every day we are getting new recognitions from SEBI, from MCA and from other regulators. Recently, we have met under the leadership of our President Devendra Deshpande ji, our past President Ashish Garg ji met with Law Ministry. And the Secretary was very pleased to have joined hands with us in the area of arbitration, in the area of mediation. To add here that we ICSI is creating a world-class arbitration center at our Center of Excellence, Kolkata. That Center of Excellence will be for all the members. We ICSI is also trying to give learning to our members, to equip and build them a world-class arbitrator. In the area of arbitration and mediation, we are working very hard. We are also working to have the new practice area in the area of MSME, taxation and NCLTs. So we are having today with us our past president Mahesh Shah ji and Anil Murarka ji. So we all are waiting for them. So request Nidhi ji to please carry forward the session with both the speakers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to express convey a sincere thanks to you, sir, for taking out our time for us and to address the audience. Thank you so much once again. Now I would request CS Anil Murarka ji, past president ICSI, to address the student and members on today's topics, avenues for practice. Before I hand over the session to sir, I would like to share his brief profile. Sir was a past president of Corporate Secretaries International Association, Geneva, 2012. He was also a past president of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Beside this, he served as vice president ICSI for the year 2010 and CSAI for the year 11. He is also member of various associations. Few of them are National Advisory Committee on Accounting Standards, National Foundation on Corporate Governance. He was also a member of Secretarial Standard Board of ICSI for the year 2014 to 18. He had represented ICSI in various committees of MCA, member of CIIER, Economic Affairs, Finance and Taxation Subcommittee 2000. So I once again welcome you, and it is indeed a great pleasure to have you here with us today. Now I request you to take up the session. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, friends. I feel really privileged to be invited by ICSI at the memorial lecture in the memory of Sri late H.M. Charodia ji. It is indeed a privilege, but at the same time, a sad moment for all of us, as demise was premature and untimely. It was late Charodia ji who has first given me an opportunity for a career counseling way back in 1997 when he was the chairman ICSI EIRC. I have the honor of working with him in the Regional Council of ICSI EIRC when we were both as the Regional Council members, and again when he became the Central Council member way back in 2001 to 2003. It is almost more than a year has passed, but at times very difficult to believe that Mr. Charodia ji is no more with us. He was a very humble person and never wanted to antagonize anyone, even if there was differences of opinion or views. He had the habit and charisma of finding an amicable solutions whenever there was a differences of views or opinions. If I recollect some of my good moments with him, I remember one such occasion when I was contesting the election of Council of ICSI way back in 2006. He and Bhabiji offered me lunch at their residence, and both blessed me with great success in the election. Lot has been said about him by family members and the council member, but I can only say that he was a wonderful person and his personality will be always in our hearts. He was a man of good behavior, thorough gentleman, and in one word, he was a great personality. लोग कहते हैं व्यक्ति की पहचान उसके व्यक्तित्व से होती है. व्यक्ति साथ रहे या न रहे, उसका व्यक्तित्व हमेशा साथ रहता है. I pray God to bless him wherever he is. Friends, the topic of today's memorial lecture is CS, a perfect profession, avenues for practice. The role of company secretary has not merely changed, but it has transformed itself into new dimensions over a period of time. Company secretary, as the picture says, I never quit, I never back down, because I am a company secretary. Friends, various statutes have recognized the profession of company secretary, but company law has been the core area for we company secretary. The last 2 decades have enhanced the value of company secretary, not under the company law, but under various other statutes. If we look at the growth of company secretaries, we will notice that there has been astonishing growth in the number of company secretaries from 2012 to 2020-21. In 2012, the number of company secretaries was 29,738, whereas in 2021, the number of company secretaries is 65,835. The profession of company secretary has both employment and practicing opportunities. We'll briefly discuss here both the avenues. Company secretary, the first recognition to the profession of company secretary came back on 1st February 1975 when the government, by induction of a new section 383 in the Companies Act 1956, has mandated that all companies having a paid-up share capital of rupees 25 lakhs or more are required to appoint a company secretary who is the member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. This is how the wheels of company secretaries keeps on rotating, but the limits for appointment of company secretaries kept on changing from time to time, and at present we all know that the said limit is rupees 10 crores or more. If we look at the Section 203, Rule 8, all listed companies and every other company having a paid-up share capital of rupees 10 crores or more are compulsorily required to appoint a company secretary. There was an amendment on 3rd June 2020 where a new Rule 8A has come, which says that every other company which are not falling under the category of Rule 8 are also required to appoint a company secretary having a paid-up capital of rupees 10 crores or more. Friends, the value of company secretary has got further enhanced as a key managerial person as per Section 203 under the Companies Act 2013. With this, the company secretary has been classified at par with managing director, full-time director, CEO, CFO of any company. Section 2031 Rule 8 says that every company having a all listed companies and every company having a paid-up capital of rupees 10 crores or more are compulsorily required to appoint a key managerial person. With this, the role of company secretary has been equated with a key managerial person in an organization. Besides this, the company secretary acts as a compliance officer. All listed companies are compulsorily required to appoint a qualified company secretary, and that qualified company secretary has to be a compliance officer of the company as per Regulation 6 of LODR 2015. Company secretary, as normally says, must have 5 C's: ensuring compliance, ensuring conformity, ensuring coordination and reporting to the board, ensuring correct procedures, and monitoring, registering, and redressal of complaints of investors. Friends, the profession of company secretary got a big boost when Section 204 mandated it that all companies are required to compulsorily follow secretarial standard as issued by the Institute of Company Secretaries of India and approved by Government of India. Company secretary is the fittest person in a company to ensure compliance of secretarial standards. Company secretary is a custodian of statutory books. A company is required to maintain various registers, books, and documents under various statutes. A CS acts as a custodian and is therefore responsible for the same. Senior management. A company secretary is a part of senior management of any company. Senior management shall mean officers, personnel of the listed company who are members of the core management team excluding board of directors. And it comprises of all members of management, one level below the CEO, MD, full-time director, and manager. But it includes company secretary and chief financial officer. Company secretary is recognized in many countries as chief government. A company secretary is a corporate planner and strategic manager. He has to work out competitive analysis, setting up new strategic goals and priorities, and he has to ensure the communication between the management and the other employees of the company. The company secretary also works as an advisor to the board of directors. In India, company secretary, besides holding the position of company secretary, we find there are a number of company secretaries who are working as directors, managing director, full-time director, chief financial officer, CEO, and other business head of the company. In fact, CS are holding, although being a professional as a CS, they are holding these positions in many companies. Now look at the penal provisions. If a company does not appoint a company secretary, which are mandatorily required to appoint a company secretary, there is a penalty of rupees 5 lakhs on the company, and every director and key managerial personnel of the company who is in default will be liable for a penalty of rupees 50,000, and in case of subsequent default, in case the default is a continuing one, a further penalty of rupees 1,000 for each day after the first during which such default continues. Friends, these are some of the areas where a company secretary in employment are working. But The company secretary's recognition as a practicing company secretary came for the first time on 15 June 1988 by a proviso to section 161 of the Companies Act 1956, which says that annual return filed by a company whose shares are listed on a recognized stock exchange, the copy of such annual return shall be signed by a secretary in whole-time practice. With this, the practicing company side of this profession got a big boost when the first recognition to the PCS came. Now look at the major avenues of practice as on date are: annual return as per section 92(1). A practicing company secretary can sign any number of companies for each of the financial year under consideration. As far as the MGT 8 is concerned, section 92(2) is concerned, all listed company and a company having a paid up share capital of rupees 10 crores or more, and a company having turnover of rupees 50 crores or more, from the financial year 2014-15 onwards, are required to get their annual return in the form of MGT8 certified by a practicing company secretary. As of now, the Council of ICSI has prescribed that a practicing company secretary can sign 80 MGT8 in any financial year. This is one area which we company secretaries have been talking of for quite a long time. And this secretarial audit, this recognition of secretarial audit by a practicing company secretary has given a big boost to the practicing side of the profession. At present, all listed companies, all public companies having paid up capital of rupees 50 crores or more, all public companies having turnover of rupees 250 crores or more, and every company having outstanding loans and borrowings from banks over 100 crores or more are required to get a secretarial audit by a practicing company secretary as per section 204 of the Companies Act 2013. Now we talk of the limit for a practicing company secretary to sign a secretarial audit report. It is 10 secretarial audit report per partner per PCS, and an additional limit of 5 per secretarial audits per partner or PCS in the case of if the unit is peer reviewed. These limits are applicable for the secretarial audit to be issued for the financial year 2016-17 onwards. Since in the year 2006, the concept of pre-certification of e-forms came into existence. Number of e-forms are required to be pre-certified by a practicing company secretary. And there are approximately 33 e-forms under the Companies Act 2013 which are required to be certified by a practicing company secretary in addition to other professionals. Similarly, there are approximately 12 e-forms under LLP Rule 2009 which require pre-certification by a practicing company secretary. Under the Companies Act, a company secretary is required. Company secretary can become an scrutineer for any meeting, any general meeting which is required to be conducted through postal ballot or through an e-voting process. The practicing company secretary, being a scrutineer, has to submit its scrutinizer report to the board of directors of the company or to a person authorized by the board of directors of the company once the voting process is over. A practicing company secretary is found to be involved in formation of company, there are certain declarations which are required to be issued by a practicing company secretary, such as form number INC 8 as per section 7(1)(b) read with Rule 14 of the Companies Incorporation Rule 2014. Form number INC 14 in case of companies which are being formed for charitable purposes. The company secretary has good opportunities, number of opportunities for cases relating to merger and amalgamations. When we talk of merger and amalgamation, reduction of capital, a practicing company secretary can plan strategies for mergers and amalgamations, acquisitions, takeover, spin-off, reconstruction, reduction of capital, reorganization, restructuring, as well as winding up of companies. The PCS can take the assignment for drafting scheme of amalgamation, scheme of amalgamations or arrangements, acquisitions of takeover. The company secretary can draft and finalize applications, petitions, and other requisite papers in the cases relating to mergers and amalgamations, reduction of capital. The PCS has to comply with necessary legal and procedural requirements, and he has the duty to advise the management on post-restructuring scenario. The PCS for issue of depository receipts, a company has to take some certificates from a practicing company secretary whenever a company plans to issue depository receipts. Company secretary, as per section 2, subsection 38 of the Companies Act 2013, has been recognized as an expert. Expert includes an engineer, a valuer, a chartered accountant, a company secretary, a cost accountant, and any other person who has the power or authority to issue a certificate in pursuance of any law for the timing in force. Company secretary can be appointed under section 259 of the Companies Act 2013 as an interim administrator of the company by the tribunal, who will take the data from a data bank maintained by the central government or any institute or agency authorized by the central government as may be prescribed, consisting the names of company secretaries by notification. As far as practicing company secretaries and SEBI, LODR and ICDR are concerned, a practicing company secretary can act as a share transfer agent under Regulation 7 and 7 of LODR. A company secretary can act as a consultant for issuance of shares and other securities. A PCS can be a part of drafting of prospectus or documents related to the issue of securities and obtaining approvals in association with the lead manager. Besides this, a practicing company secretary is required to issue reconciliation of share capital audit report under Regulation 76 of SEBI Depository and Participant Regulation 2018 by all listed companies, a quarterly report within 30 days from the end of the quarter. A compliance certificate under Regulation 40, Sub-Regulation 9 of SEBI LODR 2015 by all listed companies. It's a yearly certificate within 30 days from the end of the financial year. Secretarial compliance report by a practicing company secretary for all listed companies under Regulation 24A of SEBI LODR. It's a yearly certificate and it has to be issued within 60 days from the end of the financial year. Corporate governance report under Regulation 27 of SEBI LODR by all listed companies. It's a quarterly compliance report within 21 days from the end of each quarter. Certificate of non-disqualification of directors under Regulation 34(3) of SEBI LODR. It's a yearly certificate within 60 days of the end of the financial year. A due diligence report is required under Regulation 10(3) of delisting of SEBI equity shares, Regulation 2021, certifying that the buying, selling and dealing in the equity shares of the company has been carried out by the acquirer or its related entities and the top 25 shareholders in compliance with the applicable provisions of the securities law, including compliance with Sub-Regulation 5 of Regulation 4 of these regulations. A practicing company secretary can represent his client before all these regulatory authorities: Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Register of Companies, Regional Director, SEBI, Company Law Tribunal, National Company Law Tribunal, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, Reserve Bank of India, Real Estate Authorities, IRDA, Stock Exchanges, and Reserve Bank of India. A company secretary can appear before the tribunal. He can represent any party to any proceedings or appeal before the tribunal or the appellate tribunal to represent the case on behalf of his client. Recently, since 2016, it's a big opportunity for practicing company secretary to take up the insolvency cases. Under the IBC 2016, company secretary having 10 years of experience and have passed the requisite examinations and enrolled with Insolvency Professional Agency and registered with the IBBI can take up the matters relating to corporate insolvency resolution as an interim resolution professional, as a resolution professional, as a liquidator, as a person representing the creditors in a meeting of committee of creditors or otherwise. Besides this, a company secretary being an insolvency professional can be a facilitator to IRP, RP, liquidator, advocates, and committee of creditors. A company secretary in recent times has an opportunity to act as a registered valuer. In any amalgamation cases, in any rearrangement cases, or any restructuring cases, a registered valuer is required to issue a certificate. And the areas for issue of certificates are tangible assets and intangible assets, including goodwill and IPR. Under the banking services, the Reserve Bank of India, by its circular dated 19 September 2008, advised all the scheduled commercial banks to obtain regular certification, a due diligence report by a professional, preferably a practicing company secretary, for compliance of various statutory prescriptions that are required. Further, RBI, by its circular dated 21st January 2009, has advised all primary urban cooperative banks to obtain due diligence report. Besides this, a practicing company secretary can work for loan syndication, drafting of loan documents, drafting of other requisite papers in relation to sanction of loan, and certification of various forms relating to creation of charge, modification of charge, and satisfaction of charge. From 1st July 2017, a new avenue, goods and service tax, has come, and under GST, a practicing company secretary can add value-added services to the organization, to the trade and industry, by functioning as an extended arm of regulatory authorities. He can help in preparing the company to prepare LUT. He can help in GST audit. He can help in filing of various forms under GST. There are some of the emerging areas of practice which most of you practicing company secretaries perhaps not taken so far. One is intellectual property right, investigation, maintenance, agreements and audits, where we as a practicing company secretary must find out some opportunities. This is a new area. Most of the practicing company secretaries are the budding company secretaries. They don't get much opportunity in this area while they are working as a trainee, but it is a good area for a practicing company secretary to look into. Besides this, there are a number of labor laws where PCS validates compliance of numerous employment and labor laws like Factories Act, corporate laws, industrial laws, and other government norms which are required to be taken up in the secretarial audit as well. A practicing company secretary can be engaged for drafting of agreements and other documents. Documents and agreements may be like pre-incorporation contracts, shareholders agreement, legal opinion, legal notices, applications and petitions, and even a practicing company secretary may be involved for drafting in prospectus, offer for sale document, letter of offer, and other documents relating to issue of securities, drafting of other agreements and contracts, and various other documents. A practicing company secretary can provide advisory services in the both direct and indirect taxation, income tax, excise, and GST, as I discussed earlier. There are very few company secretaries who are practicing in these areas, but these areas offer good opportunities for a practicing company secretary to provide services to clients. A company secretary can also act in arbitration and conciliation services. Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange appoints practicing company secretary for arbitration matters. These arbitration matters offers huge opportunities. It entails upon a company secretary to have a thorough knowledge of capital market, securities market, and this kind of empanelment, this kind of arbitration proceedings also gives an opportunity to a company secretary to draft arbitration awards and ensure that justice is not denied. A practicing company secretary can advise on various arbitration matters to the advocates and other professionals. He can be a conciliator in various arbitrator and conciliators in family settlements and drafting and finalization of various arbitration awards, various conciliation awards in a case of family settlement. Friends, I have tried to cover the opportunities which are available to a practicing company secretary by the various statutes as well as the company secretary in employment. Somebody has rightly said The opportunities are enormous, but the doors of opportunity only open to those who continuously knock. It means we practicing company secretary or company secretary as a whole have to look out at the opportunities under various statutes and under the emerging areas. There may be the cases where the statute does not provide or a statute is silent about the role of company secretary or practicing company secretary. But we company secretary professionals can look at and explore those opportunities. Since opportunity economy is opening up, number of opportunities are opening, we as a practicing company secretary must explore those opportunities to ensure that we remain one amongst 100. Friends, I can only say that a new dawn is ahead of us. The onus is on each one of us to herald this dawn with passion and commitment. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for giving an excellent coverage on the topic. That was extremely inspiring session. I assure you that all this session will definitely benefited by most of the student and prospective members. Thank you so much, sir, for your esteemed presence. Now we have another speaker for the day, CS Mahesh Shaji, past president ICSI. We welcome you, sir. Sir will also share his thought and experience with us today. But before I hand over the session to Sir, I would like to share his brief profile. Mr. Shah is a qualified chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary, along with a degree in law and business management. He is the past president of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, the Institute of Cost and Management Accountants of India, and has been a past member of Accounting Standard Board of ICAI, past member Compliance Committee of International Federation of Accountants, member of Executive Committee of Confederation of Asian and Pacific Accountants and South Asian Federation of Accountants. Mr. Shah is also served as director and advisor of some of the public and private sector companies. We welcome you, sir, and request you to kindly share your experience with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nidhi. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
I'm really thankful to the, if I can start with Sandeep, and I can use the word Sandeep. I'm not using any, our ambassador in the Central Council member from Eastern Zone. And the occasion is that regarding the memorial lectures. The memorial lecture, again for whom? A younger brother. A brother, when I heard Priyanka, and I also became emotional. And I'm an emotional person, basically, we all are. And looking at when I start with Choriya ji, right from the days when I started my career, and then we used to meet, and from the day, then I used to say maybe I'm a little elder to him, and he's so respective, he's so much simple, he's so much good. Maybe I used to see because that's the way the Indian family, that's the way the Indian cultures are, that he is so good to me. But then I used to see, no. It's not with me only. He is with everybody. He's with everybody. And the kind of, when he started his journey to coming to the Rizal Council and then to Central Council, and various meetings every time, whenever we had, you, maybe somebody is younger to you, but he leaves some kind of a impression, some kind of his style. And that style was so simple, so good, and so one can rely. One can rely that here is a gentleman, here is a tir in your arsenal. I mean, I being an elder to them, whether to Anil and to Sandeep or to many of our members from all over India, Manish also in Delhi, and Vashant also is our president, if I can call them by first name. And you feel sometimes, if they come to respect the system, and this memorial lecture is what? Is remembering, and I am told that this is a month for the student month, and the number of students are attending. And when I do remember my student days, and particularly in the Costing Institute, we used to go to the library. In the library, when we are preparing for our examination, preparing for our some study, other thing, the whole team of the regional council, the central council, oh, there is some seminar, and all president and vice president all over India, they have come, and there is you all come and sit in the back chairs in the auditorium. We'll go there, we'll listen to their speeches, we'll see, oh, he speaks so good, oh, he does not that good, oh, Mr. Kalyan Raman from that south, he's so nice. And then same thing when we used to hear in our institute, right from Mr. Krishnan, many other senior people, Mr. C.R. Shah, many other, Mr. L.R. Puri, I mean, whom we remember. Today, what we are reaping in the Company Secretary Institute is a contribution of so many stalwart. I mean, you will not believe there were no resources, there were nothing much. But then there was an administration from like Mr. Subbaraman. There was a continuation by Dr. Naran. So these are the things. So this memorial lectures give us the opportunity of respecting the contribution, and particularly when, as Anil rightly said, untimely. I mean, I never expected Churiara ji will leave us like that. And then the kind of a personal rapport with Amit and Bhabhi ji. I mean, he mentioned about a lunch. Anil mentioned about a lunch at his home. I was number of occasions. I mean, one occasion I do remember. In our own Rajasthani style, some halwa was made by Bhabhi ji. I had my complete meal and I am sitting and talking. नहीं थे मेरा हाथ से को नहीं खायो, थे मेरा हाथ से नहीं लिया, आके उन्होंने डबल ट्रिपल मेरे मुंह में डाला लेकर के. So this is the kind of love and affection when we say I have a member coming, a number of members come from Bombay, Delhi, and they'll say, okay, Mahesh Shah stays in Calcutta. There is a professional work in Calcutta that becomes secondary. Mahesh is there, that becomes the primary. I used to like, and some like this is being a Sawan month, we used to have some Rudravishek Puja. So one of the friend who became president of also of our institute, and then he came. On Sunday, he had a work on Monday in some court, but he came by Sunday flight. And in the evening, he just walked to my home. And I said, and that day, the Durga Visheka Puja was going on, 11 Pandits were there. So he says, Mahesh, where you reach somewhere, you go somewhere, and you find so much of good things are going on, it gives a kind of a different support and different kind of a feeling. Oh, this is what is required in our system. So, when we see about the Churiara ji, I mean, you will not believe his simplicity. I mean, we were there. We were there in many seminar, workshop in Calcutta, other places. One of the places which I remember, so the regional council, anything, or somebody is not there, they will to fill up the blank. Okay, past presidents are there, call them to speak something, call them to speak. So maybe the team called me. So Churiara is in own simplicity. Bhaiji the to kelam to in our own word. I mean, and we will always talk in our own language. That is the kind of rapport we used to have. Theto, you got called and you can speak on anything for any number of minutes. But if I have to be told, I must prepare and think. This is after he became president. Let me again tell you. This is the kind of simplicity he used to have. That is where when we see him sometime, oh, he's younger to me, he became after me, it's something like that. It's something like that. A person can learn from anything. This is what when we say company secretary profession, when we say the governance profession, compliance profession, then these are the things. Like other day somebody showed me some clipping. He says somebody is going to NCLT, somebody is going to the court, somebody is going to the different authorities. They say how you want to, you present yourself. You present yourself to what a personality like Mr. Churiara has left. You see, and I do remember when I gave his instance, I do remember a very senior gentleman retired from the income tax tribunal. And then when he retired from the tribunal, he used to know most of the presiding officer, most of the technical people, most of the other people in his lifetime. And then he say he'll take up the cases of the biggest client, and he'll talk anything and in a very loud voice. So one day that gentleman who retired from the income tax tribunal was talking to me when we met at some other place. He was asking Mr. Shah, there's one boy, he's a recently qualified person and he comes to the tribunal and he presents his case very, very, very peacefully and very, very systematically and very, very methodically and all the laws point. He doesn't raise his voice. So, sir, how can he raise his voice? But he says, who's good? He's asking, am I good? Because I shout because I retired from the tribunal, I talk the way I want. Sir, how can a younger person talks in such a loud voice to the presiding officer, and if he's doing in such a systemic and he's appreciating, sir, you are a different person. And then he was what he was saying, but he knows his job very well, what he has to speak, what he has to present, where to stop, what is to be done. So to my dear student, I'm told by Nidhi, number of them are there with us today. They are listening. So apart from all the technical things which Anil covered like anything, I mean, there is no better person than Anil to give you the opportunity which are there in the various corporate laws, whether in the arbitration, whether in the NCLT, whether in the competition law, whether in the financial and capital market. I don't have to go the nitty-gritty of detail, but what we can what we can do at this juncture when these memorial lectures are there, who are our leaders, who are contributed in a various expertise. I do remember many instances of my life. I mean, listening to some senior coming out from the, ICI auditorium in Calcutta, some annual dinner function somewhere. I used to always wonder, oh, he's so good, he's so very nice, he's so effective. And this is what is a memorial lectures initiated by Dr. G.B. Rao. The idea, Manish has picked up the idea and implemented it. I really appreciate it. That gives an opportunity. You know what you are doing. You are respecting your elders. You are respecting your fathers. You are respecting your forefathers. You are respecting your thing and trying to learn whatever they did at those resources, at those constraints, at those limitations which are not there today. Today you find, I ask for some detail. A person comes to my office for taking an employment, and more than me, he takes my interview instead of I take his interview. Because the kind of detailing he's got today, he says, sir, your company did so and so thing, your company has got so and so thing. This is what the technology has given. But this technology, one side, we must appreciate, we must like it, we must do it. The memorial lectures, this starting which has been done, what is there? हमें अपना स्वभाव नहीं खराब करना चाहिए. अभाव कोई चीज का, there is no problem. If there is some shortage in your life of anything, that should not change your attitude. But if we change our swabhav, that is a beginning of our, stoppage our growth. That is what I say always. While meeting senior people, I do remember one or two instances of the life. I can give the benefit of all my younger students, with a lot of vibrant and kind of pep they have. I stood second in India in CA final examination. More than 50 companies, they used to send to, the institute used to send the topper list to the various companies. And I moved all over India for a job for it. The job was not that urgent for me or for my family. If I don't take up the job tomorrow, there will not be any food in the house, nothing like that. But then I have to take. So some company invited me with a third class fare. Some company invited me second class fare. Some company invited me with a first class fare. One or two company called me by airfare also. But so happened, which happens today also. I do remember the days. Those days, what was the salary? I'm having a 3 qualification and a law degree and a management degree. Somebody will offer me 2,000. I'll ask for 2,500 rupees per month. I'm not talking 2,000 rupees per day. I'm talking 2,000 rupees per month. Then somebody will offer me 2,500. I'll ask for 3,000. So it went on for a day or two. I had a all India Brahman at the company's cost. Most of the places I was invited by PSUs, by Tatas, by number of companies, and so that the destiny was not there. My destiny was not there on the what you say, on the job. In process, there was some company from Central Africa, Malawi, I do remember. The gentleman came to Bombay. He how he got my detail. He called me, and in those years, calling, giving a job and calling you and giving you a good lunch in the Oberoi at Bombay used to be a very big thing for me. So he invited me to have a lunch with him, and he offered me a job. To Mr. Shah, you come to Malawi, and then the sky is the limit. But simultaneously, I had gone to see my wife Renuka to see her there in Bombay. My marriage, my some relative has proposed that you must go and see. So it was almost finalized, and I got engaged. My father-in-law used to travel to foreign country like anything. Then when he came to know that I am signing some agreement with some company in Central Africa, Malawi, तो he says, सर आपको कमर साहब आपको जाना है तो आप जाइए, but why to go to Africa, go to Singapore, go to London, go to some other places. मैंने कहा, if I pursue this, then he may say he may not give me his daughter. So I very respectfully to that gentleman, well, I'll take some time and I'll come. So all these things, what teaches us? What does all this teaches us? This teaches us, okay, you stood second in India, but you wanted to go to foreign country, but then something you got engaged, and some family has come to your now your decision making, and you respect that. So why I'm saying this? There is a slok in Gita, 9th chapter, 22nd slok. Ananya Sichanta Yantomam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesam Yukta Bhyukta Nam Yoga Chayam Vhamyam. हम जैसे जैसे जिस देवता की जिसको मानते हैं, जो भी फेथ है, whether you are Sikh, you are Muslim, you are Jainism, you are a Sanatan, whatever faith you belong, whomever you worship, and how do you worship? The way आप हनुमान जी को पसंद करते हैं, you like Krishna ji, you like Devi Ma, you like Krishna ji, he is there. बोला अनन्य शीचंत यंतोमा ये जना पर्युपासते तेसा नियुक्त अभियुक्ता नाम योगक्षेम भामे. वो खड़े हैं, यहाँ खड़े हैं, कृष्ण जी यहाँ खड़े हैं, राम जी यहाँ खड़े हैं, हनुमान जी महाराज यहाँ खड़े हैं. आपकी मांगने की देरी है कि भगवान मेरे को दो. जैसे हम लोग बच्चियों को बोलते हैं ना, 4 सोमवार के व्रत कर ले, तेरे को अच्छा पति मिलेगा, यू विल गेट अ गुड बॉय. यू डू दिस, तो ये सावन भर में शिव जी की पूजा कर लो, यू विल गेट अ गुड जॉब, you will pass the examination, you will get a good contract, you will get a good tender. We all say so, but this slok, what this slok says, this is ananya bhava se, wherever you whatever you demand, he will give you. He is there to give you. It's only your demanding is getting late. He is there to give it to you, and he goes on giving. Not only giving you whatever you have, he keeps the safety of those also. But tomorrow somebody I advise, oh, you do 4 सोमवार, you do 7 महीने में वो, आप जाके गंगा स्नान कर लो हरिद्वार में, आप जाके वहां पे ये छोड़ दो, और करने के बाद में वो नहीं होता. It doesn't happen the way you want it. It's not, you didn't get the result the way you desire it, the way you did. Then what you say? You come and complain to the person who says, माँ बोलती, मम्मी आपने तो बोला था ऐसा कर लो, है तो क्या हुआ? कोई बॉस बोलेगा, you do this, और सर मेरा प्रमोशन क्या हुआ? Some tender you want to get through, it is not happening. Some foreign trips, your contract is not happening. Then what do you do? So they are very vicharak, good expert, good Mahaj people who understood this slope. They say, whatever you want, he is there to give you. But then after making your all efforts, after making your all the thing you say, oh, I studied properly, I did this, I have done that. Even then I didn't get the desired result in my examination. I didn't get the desired placement. I didn't get the desired practicing area. Then what is it? So what it teaches us? It teaches us we have done our hard work. We have done our hard work and we have done our best of the thing, but it is not happening. So उसकी इच्छा में, उस परम पिता परमेश्वर की इच्छा में ही अपनी इच्छा मान लो. He doesn't want you go to the west side. He wants you to go to the north side. This is what is required. So I do remember, as an instance, a boy passed MBA from Calcutta center long back. That time this mobile was not there. And he was a CR, he was a famous, he's in campus, all the faculty, regular faculty, visiting faculty, all the persons used to like him. He was very good in his report, in his presentation, everything he was very good. But the company which came to the campus didn't appoint him, didn't give him a job. Everybody got the job, said that time 120 or 150 students used to be there. So most of the students got the job, he didn't. None of the company gave him the job. So I think the placement was going on 2-3 days. In between, in the evening, he must have gone to somebody, and then he landed up to my office. Somebody says, you go to Mahezi and talk to him, and he may give you some solution, this and that. And you will not believe, I mean, Amit and Priyanka and all my other Sandeep ji, you will not believe, वो 10 शब्द he used to speak to before me. 8 he was abusing his professor, his teacher, his fellow student. 8 where he was abusing. And then I heard him for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. If I say those, I can't remember those words also, the way all the slang words he was using. I say, what has happened? Then I said, okay, I understand. Okay, I was so good. I was do this, I was this, everything he was appreciating, which was correct because I could see the kind of intellect on his face. I could see everything was very good. But then why it has happened? I said, look, somehow I said, the God wanted to make you a perfect person. Maybe you are very good in your education, but your behavior quality, whether your cooperation quality, maybe you will get a job in a big company, but tomorrow you will not able to take the team along. You will not able to take the people along. So the God is making you perfect by giving you this downfall. After getting the best result, you have not been provided a job. No company is picked up. So if God made you by this 1 or 2 days, and you thought he has got 10 lakhs, somebody has got 11 lakhs, somebody has got 12 lakhs, those years, this used to be the scenario. You may be given, who knows, you are being made by that superpower a more compatible, more perfect person by your this downfall, and then maybe by this evening, by tomorrow, what you do, you go from here. This mobile was not there, if I do remember. Go there, go to your campus back. Whoever professor you are abused or you are shouted at them when you didn't get the job, and or they didn't tell you anything, you go and respectfully again to them and tell your other friends who have got the job, congratulate them, impress them, and you feel nice to them. And then you see there might be something much better which you have not thought is written. Somebody wants to see with the completeness of you. So what is this memorial lectures of Chodhiriya ji? Now we remember Chodhiriya ji. I also remember. Oh, such a simple gentleman, such a simple, a colleague, a member. So that is what is required. I mean, today what is happening? I mean, we have all resources. Everything is happening. Earlier, when you sitting, one member of the family used to be there to work, whether business or industry or anything, and 10 people, 8 people, 12 people used to be looked after, and the family was going on, everything was going on. What is the society is lacking today? Now 10 people are going for the work, everybody is working, everybody is earning, everybody is doing, but the family is not that happy, which used to be happy 30 years back, 40 years back. So what has gone? This is the time has come, the Companies Act, the corporate law, the arbitration, the NCLT, then SEBI laws, the capital market. Well, we all have to do our technical thing. We are born in some family. I mean, you can't decide. Otherwise, somebody asks me, Mahesi, kahan janamna chahiye? Pasand karenge where you like to. Certainly, I'll say Birla, Tata. No, anybody will say Adani, Ambani. I like to, but no, he doesn't. Listen, Janma karmacha medibyam bevam yoveti tatuta. Takta dehanam punajava neti mameti sorjana. Gita's 4th chapter, 5th number slow, 6th number slow. The Bhagwan, the Lord only can decide where he wants to get birth. At what time and whose family. He decided that he want to get birth in where? In Ayodhya. To whom? Ayodhya. He could have born in any family, but no, Raja Dasaratha family. No, at what time? He decided at 12 o'clock. So the God has got that liberty, but we, Manushya Tattva, we don't have the liberty. So whatever we have done now, but we have done something very good. Out of, from the Sanatan angle we talk, 84 लाख योनियों में हमने बहुत पुण्य काम किए, अच्छे वर्क किए. We have done very, very good thing in our early life, and because we got this now Manushya Tattva. So this Manushya Tattva is what? Basically to serve the society, to serve the nation in whatever capacity you are. I mean, if you have come to like student, I mean, and you came to class and you go back to your home and you put your sandal that side, you leave your bag that side, you keep everything this side, which is not a good thing. When you go back today, let your mother and father, parents think, oh, she's the same girl who has gone this morning to the class, to the ICI, some training program. And she's entirely changed. So the entirely changed has to be done what? Okay, ask your mother, can I massage your leg? Can I put oil in your hair? तो वो चमक जाएगी, बोले ये कंपनी सेक्रेटरी वाले ने क्या सिखा के भेजा मेरी बेटी को. That is the completeness. So the money you will earn, the post you will get, the appreciation you will get because of your various the earlier Janma Karma. And we all qualified. We see, I mean, sometimes you say, I mean, I take the example of two students, from the National Law College from Bangalore. And I have met them 10 years back. And both the student I know very well. And the one who was very good looking, both I'm talking about the girl student, one was very good looking, very good in thing. But see, her career has not grown up. Where the other one who was not that good looking, who was nothing, and she is now gone to Oxford, LLM, became partner in some law firm. What is this? So we have to understand, we have to make ourselves Anandamai. We have to make ourselves not always complaining to the system. The positiveness has to come wherever you are, whatever study you are doing, wherever training program you are doing, right from morning till evening, you must see that whatever faculty you are meeting, it has happened in my life. I mean, it has happened in my career. I qualified as a chartered accountant. I had gone to meet one of my friends who was an industrialist, and he was not there because he had gone to his Kanpur factory. His Tauji was there. I have conveyed this this instance. Then the Tauji, oh, you have qualified, Mahesh, chartered accountant. Abhi kya, what you want to do? Acha, you do. And he used to eat some tambaku as any student will come or any young fellow will come sitting there. He is giving me advice. He is just giving me advice without bothering whether I am listening to him properly or not properly. And I heard him, and he says, Mahesh, I had yesterday attended a bank's chairman party. He attended the party of a bank chairman, but I'm getting happy. I'm getting thrilled. Tauji, आप क्या नाम तो बैंक के chairman की party में मिल के आए? I mean, that time I'm talking about which year it is, 78, 79. For me, it used to be a big thing to meet a bank chairman. But he, being industrialist, he was invited by the banking people, and he met. He says, Mahesh, ठीक है, तू है ना, अभी जो भी करेगा ना, you do one thing. I met somebody like you yesterday in that party. He gave me 2 visiting cards. I said, Tauji, why he gave you 2 cards? He could have given you 1 only visiting card. What was the need of 2? No, 2 kind of card he gave me. Achha, 2 kind of card. What was the 2 kind of card? One you write chartered accountant, and one he gave me a management consultant. That time management consultant used to be the big thing. Management consultant. Okay, I appreciate it. And he says, no, you don't do this audit and tax thing. That's okay, you do it, but you go for a project report, feasibility report, bank loan, syndication. You will not believe Amit and Sandeep and Anil. I mean, it's all from the 5th floor of his chamber till his lift, my entire 360-degree my curve has changed. I say nothing to audit profession, nothing to income tax practices. I will go only project report, feasibility report, loan syndication, foreign capital. This is what I'll do. And with the blessing of Almighty, I have not looked back. I have not looked back till this minute. I'm so happy. You see, I really say that to the younger generation. I mean, 20 years back, 30 years back. I mean, you drive a car. Some car is there in front of you. They want to cross it. They want to go a first way. Every motorist, every person will allow कि आप पहले जाइए. Today you are finding a bike fellow will come from the left hand side and he want to overtake you from the right hand side. Society has become very impatient. This impatientness has to be in our system, whether we are practicing, whether we are in a government, whether we are in any of your area. I mean, I would say the main area used to be the practicing area. Practicing area, as Anil has conveyed very categorically. I mean, I do remember our interaction with the SEBI chairman in 92 when the SEBI came into the power in existence. 30,000 complaints had come to SEBI. And my president, when I was a vice president, Mr. Rangamani was there with me to the SEBI office, and we knew, we being a company secretary, we know what is the problem. 30,000 complaints come, and SEBI didn't know what is to be done to this 30,000 complaints. What is the chairman was telling us, that all the officers who had joined the SEBI, they were on deputation. Nobody was knowing what is the Companies Act, what are the Companies Act, what are the things has to be done. What has to be done, and they were not knowing about what is to be done about those complaints and what is the replies to him. So my president, and I said, what you want, tell us. I will, Mr. Shah, Mr. Rangmani, we do not have the people who understand this complaint and what kind of thing. So practicing members were not there that time, and I am talking about 92. With the reply, I said, after doing the day's work, wherever our company secretaries are there in Nariman Point area in Bombay, our 10 member will come to SEBI's office and we'll draft the reply of this 30,000 complaint. You will not believe, my dear listeners, Amit, you will not believe. And instead of we're thankful that we made the chairman. He said, can it happen, Mr. Shah? Can it happen, Mr. Rangmani? I said, we'll do it for you. Because we being a company secretary, our profession, we know what is the Companies Act. We know about what is it. What is the problem as shareholder? Sir, मेरा dividend नहीं आया. Sir, मेरी balance sheet नहीं आई. Sir, मेरा refund नहीं आया. Sir, मेरा transfer होकर share नहीं आया. These are the area where we used to have the 80 to 90% of the complaint. We drafted all the one kind of letters and we made it. And that time you will not believe that is the relationship we developed. Today somebody says we are having good relationship. We are having because immediately Mr. Rangmani was taken on the SEBI primary market committee. When he completed his term as a president, they took me in the committee. So this is what is the company secretary's profession is all about. Hey, the Mr. Choriria like person is there, who are simple, who are humble, who are there. We over the period, I mean, right from, if I remember our president, my predecessors, number of them, the kind of contribution, the kind of knowledge, the kind of style. I mean, when I'm talking about Chuni Bhai Saab, when I'm talking about Mr. Sandbog, when I come to Preeti Roy, Pierre Roy, and they all stalwart. Today, what the institute is reaping is the hard work of our forefathers. And I will always request, I don't say my present team, when Manish has taken the initiative, Vasant is doing, I would rather say go out of the way, I mean, wherever. Because you see, one word, one experience, one maturity, one kind of thing will change the entire prospect of whether it is a student, whether it is a member, whether it is a staff. I mean, it's because you see the maturity experience comes and the kind of blessing comes. What if somebody if the Sandeep touches my feet? I mean, what I'll say, khush raho. मेरे मुंह से तो ये निकल if बहुरानी touches the mother-in-law's feet, क्या कहेगी बेटी खुश रहो, आबाद रहो, यही रहेगा. So this parampara which is there in our system, I say inculcate. Apart from, you see, we may be chartered accountant, we may be cost accountant, we may be company secretary, MBA, doctors, engineers, but somewhere in this last 2-3 decades, I'll say 2 decades, somewhere the society has become little impatient because we cannot be bad. How can we be bad? Because we are part of the super soul. वो परमात्मा की आत्मा हमारे है. We can't be bad. Nobody is bad on the earth. Nobody. The only thing is that because of our prarabdha, because of our certain thing which we have done or unknowingly, knowingly, it is happening. So the corporate governance, the entire, this profession, and the opportunity, I mean, the kind of opportunity, we talked about the globalization, privatization, and the kind of, you see, earlier, I mean, I'm talking about 30 years, 40 years back, a person, I'm giving my experience. I think I used to be little ahead to the Calcutta system. Why? Because I will travel to Bombay like it is next to my next flat. And the idea which used to be there in Bombay and Calcutta, it used to be different. I mean, Calcutta is sitting at 10%, Bombay is sitting at 30%, London is sitting at 80%, or New York is sitting at 100%. So today, because of the speed, because of the technology, because of the thing, what is being thought right now 1 hour back in New York comes to Calcutta via London or directly. So this is what you all young generations are having the benefit. I mean, you Google it, everything comes like you do it. So the benefit of that is what? Benefit of that is there. What is the instrument? Earlier, a general manager of a nationalized bank sitting in Calcutta and a general manager sitting in Bombay is 2 different persons. Both are getting the same pay. Both are getting the same thing. But this gentleman sitting at Calcutta doesn't have that exposure, doesn't have that volume, doesn't have that kind of a clientele where he can take all these kind of decisions, whereas the gentleman sitting at Bombay. Now that because of the volume, because of the technology, things are becoming, one should take benefit of that. And I say, apart from our own, the various opportunity which is there in our system, which is provided by the statute, I don't have to cover it in detail. It has been, you Google it up, you go to the institute site, you will get everything. You must be doing your training. Our members are there. What is required? What is required? Become something, what the Japanese system say, you know about something and something about everything. That should be one aspect. The second thing, having a core, anything. I was going through some detail about the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. 3 lakh crore has been spent, 2 lakh has been released, 2 lakh crore. Somebody goes in those details, where from this money comes, where this detail, maybe as an academician, and you become as something very good. Now, 2016, there were 400, 500 startup with there. Today somebody was telling me, Mahesh, 72,000 startup ho gaya. Now, what is it? Everybody is not Zomato, everybody is not Uber, everybody is not your, what is it? Urban Club. Things are happening, lot of opportunity. So it's not tomorrow your neighbor, your surroundings giving you more and more ideas and opportunity of becoming independent. Be that. Yeah, some person in government, some person is there in the system. Hey, you are having some better idea. Share with your other people, with the institution framework, and see that those ideas are fruitified and they are taken to the higher level of the life. You see, there's a lot when somebody was saying we are very close to MC. We are supposed to be. Because we are part of the GDCS, Government Diploma in Company Secretaries Examination, used to be conducted by the Department of Corporate Affairs, Company Affairs, and from there the Section 25 came, and then when the institute came, then the act came. So they take us those group, when seniority are not there, but the system has got the detail that the company secretary is a part of the MCA. So that itself is a big thing, and one should, while making ourselves perfect in every sphere, and some of us, I will say all of us, why some of us, all of us, and quietly or together, and should see that wherever need of the society, need of the economy, need of the regulator, need of the thing. Other day I was sharing this idea. I like to share with if I get an opportunity with the corporate affairs ministers, I say why we have a punishment and a penalty and thing. Why not the system becomes because of the information technology? If some company is not able to file the return, now your system must say, oh, your last date is the 30th July. Today we are already on 23rd, 24th. You need any help? You have an accountant with you. You have a computer operator with you, or you know it, or your details are not updated. This what should be there that the cups up. Because you see, I always used to say, and today again I'll say, because I keep a different kind of a mindset. You see, compliance is required, but what we are doing, you see the 80-70% of our this Manushyatta time, we got a birth as a Manushya. What is my main duty? To again go back to my main forefather. If I ask you what is your forefather's name, your father name, if your grandfather, your grandfather's father name, many of us know. But we ultimately know our Parampita kaun hai, Parmeshwar we know. So ultimately we have to be part of him. So doing that, why to waste time of a life? Why to waste a little time in certain things? Don't worry about the livelihood. Like a mother looks after her baby. Whatever he or she is dirty, she doesn't bother. She'll take her time and she'll see that she is cleaned from all angles. So this is the way that ultimately, what is the society needed is through we company secretary profession, we compliance people, we corporate governance people, a kind of a initiative so that everywhere around, we should give 80% of time is going on where it is going? It is going on the compliance, 20% may be going on the productivity. I'll rather want to reverse it. Now the time has come. What is my city needs? What is my client's need? What is the kind of a capacity is to be generated among my nation? I do remember 91, before 91, 90, if you want to buy a room air conditioner, there was only one or two organized company. Voltas was there. And if you see the Voltas balance sheet of those years, what was the total installed capacity of the Voltas? 30,000 pieces for entire India. That was the kind of scenario. I will travel from Calcutta to Delhi, and in a flight, I will meet more than 2 dozen industrialists of Calcutta were going to Delhi. I say, भाई आप क्यों जा रहे हैं? बोला नहीं वो एक इंडस्ट्री लगानी है, उसका इंडस्ट्रियल लाइसेंस लेना है. अभी कोई छोटा से छोटा, you want to set up industry, you have to run to the Udyog Bhavan in Delhi, and that Udyog Bhavan form, my God, nobody can fill up in those days, in the even 15 days, 1 month or 2 months. This was the condition. So now what has been done by one of the former Prime Minister, who used to be the Finance Minister at that time, he liberalized the entire area, Dr. Manmohan Singh. And since then, the kind of Indian economy has been opened, the kind of capital market has been opened, the kind of opportunity which has come. I mean, will not believe, it has to be appreciated from all angles. I mean, he was the one, being a president of the Company Secretary Institute. I used to go, he used to invite us, and the kind of appreciation, the codification exercise of the Companies Act was going on, and the response we used to give from the Company Secretary Institute, he used to appreciate, and with a whole gentleman. I mean, I must say, we meet many scholar, we meet many political people, we meet very many leaders. But I must say, if the 3 o'clock at North Block, you have been called and you are there at the reception on the ground floor, and they clear you to go to him, and he is there at his door to receive you. I mean, you being maybe a vice president of an institute and a president of an institute, but a kind of a simplicity. So when I talk about simplicity, I relate with the Chori Raji. The lectures were somewhere I started by Sandeep on a day, on a thing. For all of us, why I'll say student, I'm still a student. I don't say the student has only to learn. I mean, can also learn. Well, there's something good which has happened. The style of many of the stalwart. I mean, the number of company secretaries, we used to have our annual dinner at Calcutta, and you will not believe. I mean, Saturday Club, I do remember. The kind of elegance, the kind of the style. I mean, because the company secretary used to sit with the board. I'm talking about the society as a whole. He used to sit with the board member. He's an honor. He's a promoter. He's got a different level of level in the society. So when we are part of the board, sitting and writing maybe the minutes and maybe conducting, supporting the minute, but we know what is my Babu, what is my Lala, what is my Sahab, is the Veering, what he thinks, the way he brings it. So the kind of car used to get parked outside the Saturday Club when the annual dinner used to be there, that used to be shown. The company secretary profession, and we are there at the top, some level of the management. So this is what has to be continued, and that can only happen when we have the totality of our requirement. When you see filing, complying, certainly this has to be there because of the compilation of some data, some record, some detail which government needs. But one has to see. I mean, I would say some of us, I will not use the word again, some of us, all of us should see wherever I have the special. I mean, I did talk about your startup. I did talk about the Awas Yojana. There are a number of programs, which there are a number of compliance issues in the government administration. I mean, if we take up those things, we starting, whether it's a municipal corporation, whether it's a panchayat, whether any other regulator things. Why regulator has to send some kind of a negativity feeling in the system? Why? Then if we can save the nation by our understanding of the various laws, and before something is committed wrong, let's come out and see that as a society, as a nation, we come ultimately for what? Better living? I mean, kya hoga? I mean, everybody say, today I'm earning 5 lakhs, so I must earn 10 lakhs, I must earn 20 lakhs, I must earn something. But by earning that, if we are getting happy is that you can buy the things from those money. But the anand we are living, so anandamay jo ek hota hai na lekar ke, hum andar se anand ho jate hain, that is missing there. You the money, you buy a thing, you buy a pizza, you buy a car, you buy an apartment, you buy your foreign travel. But then, are you happy inside? No. Somewhere, that is losing. This is what I would say, my all friends and colleagues, wherever they are, and wherever we can. It's not that a senior has got something more, but certainly they have age, they have experience, they have a maturity, but the combination of both, the advisory and the implementation skill are required for any profession or anything. And in this connection, I would only say that this interaction with the institute gives is most important. Is most important, and it has changed my life. It has changed many more people. I know number of my senior people in the private sector, in the government sector, and various whether they are in administrative and everybody has some kind of experience, some kind of a prasang, some kind of like Bhagwan ki leelaएं हैं, prasang hai, everybody has, and that is what the society is needing, and positiveness, hard work has to be in place. Without that, nobody. I mean, and I have a request to some of the practicing. You see, single-handedly. We are very good, extremely very good, but somewhere I feel the jointly and combinedly on a cooperatively basis, somewhere the more thing has to happen. And when I'm hinting it, I say, why not Big Four of the company secretary profession? And somebody wants to take a lead initially, whatever support from my side, those things should start happening. Those should be happening. Because things are changing. You see, I do remember my student days. I mean, when I was a trainee and I used to get the trial balance, होता है ना trial balance, वो हाथ से हम बनाते थे, लिखते थे, टैली करते थे. जिस दिन ट्रायल बैलेंस टैली हो जाता था किसी क्लाइंट के यहाँ बैठ के, उस दिन जो हमारा जो आता था ना वो टिफिन हमको देते थे क्लाइंट, तो एक समोसा की जगह 2 समोसे मिलते थे. अरे आज तो ट्रायल बैलेंस इस साल इतनी जल्दी टैली हो गया. So this is the kind of thing which we have done. What used to be doing manual, are we supposed to do those things in manual? So today, tomorrow, your tally package or other packages, accounting package, SAP, the technology has taken many things from us, which is good also. It should happen only. It should happen only. Now, where my this mind, where my this skill, where this my maturity has to be utilized, has to be seen. I believe there's a lot one can talk, and when you get a occasion where we have to remember a colleague and a friend and a well-wisher and a simple person. I mean, you feel somewhere, if I have something which he's got better than me, I must also change, I must also learn. And this is what I would rather say to all, wherever you get the opportunity of meeting stalwarts, right from whom I said Mr. Krishnan Sahab, many things you learn. One of the elected president of our institute is there in Delhi. You meet, I mean, today also he, with so much of experience, so much of maturity, you get from them, and many others whose name I should take, or should I take? Entire, the list is there, and the faculty and the administrator, and that's basically, the degree, money, power, post, and qualification would not give us a pleasure. It has to be a completeness of the personality. So at the end of the day, you should be happy person, and in the process, and that is what the Choraria ji used to give, and the kind of love and affection we used to have. That is what has to be there, and this has to be maintained. I mean, I must say that, because the kind of the institute needs a kind of this institute have to till date. I don't say it's missing, but more and more wherever we want to be a little more perfect, so that an entire family, right from the people who are working in the institute, right from the student, and then our elected regional and council member, and then the government people. I mean, I do remember when I used to be I was a president. There was a joint secretary, and he just phoned us. Some team has come from the USA or some some team has come, and they wanted the institute thing. I was there in the institute Delhi office, and I think my all colleague were there as a council member. I said, this is a phone has come from the ministry. I mean, you become transparent, you don't hide. Then your friends, your colleague, your co-partner, the ministry is asking us to host this delegation. This is what I said. And you will not believe, when you are transparent and when you say that everybody immediately say yes, we should not miss the opportunity, we should seize the opportunity, and we say conveyed. And that same gentleman, when he was a joint secretary, became the secretary of MCA, and Mr. Reddy, if I do remember his name, and the kind of relationship we developed, the kind of relationship the institute got developed. So this is what I say: wherever you are, whether your boss, your seniors, I mean, I'm talking, referring, when I'm using the word student, I'm also included in that, kindly. So wherever you are there, always say, sir, complete whatever is there. Sir, can I do some more? Sir, can I do that more? If you completed, done one, then he'll give you something more to learn. But you say, sir, kal kar lunga, sir, itna ho gaya, parso kar lunga, then you are closing your learning process. And which company secretary institute has never closed? Wherever we were there, whether it was a SEBI, it was a MCA, it was any other regulating authority, we came out. I mean, because our forefathers, our teachers, our earlier leaders, from elected member, president, they taught us to be humble, to be nice, and to be good. And that is a process has to continue. The various laws, the various subject, it will go on changing at the economic, as per the volume of the nation, as per the things. I mean, I was asking somebody to give me the details of the various convention, the company secretary institute. I mean, I was remembering 1985, our Dr. G.B. Rao was the president, the convention held in the city of Trivandrum. I was there. From that day, 85 to this 2022, I've been attending all conventions and meeting all my friends, company secretary friends, and senior regulators, chief guest, politicians who are coming to you. But that gives me a kind of a request through Sandeep and to my president team. Then I said, Mahesh, you are the only president who's been maintaining to attend all the conventions. I could find some of them attended, some of them are attending, some of them are not attending. Then that is what the past president. Then I'm saying, no. Now I can go to one more step by attending your last in Bangalore, before that it's Indore, before that at Jaipur. I'm saying many of the members whom I used to see, they have not also attended, but Lord sent me. I mean, I'll say during the COVID period also, I could able to go. And now I say from the institute angle, I used to see some officers, some staff member used to be there. Some of them have retired, some of them are newly joined. So I could see tomorrow, Sandeep ji, if you have to give some lifetime achievement award, you have a nomination from Calcutta. I mean, one of the a member who has been continuously attending the national convention right from 1985 till date. Why I'm telling to my student, whenever you get the opportunity of meeting and talking and seeing, learn. Maybe the technical point you can learn something, but the style, the meeting, the depth, the thing, you'll when you meet the person personally, and it has happened with me number of occasions. And with this, there are a lot one can share with you. We'll have many other opportunity. And thankful to entire team, technical team, under the Mr. A.K. Srivastava, who was from Calcutta only. He used to be our force in Calcutta. And I'm saying since yesterday, Nidhi is coordinating the event very nicely. And to Anil, who covered technically very effectively. So I did not go to the detail of the Companies Act section and the SEBI thing and other thing, which you are there. But then there are certain experience of the life which I said I must listen. And regarding Choreleji, it's beyond something. We lost him. Nobody was. When Amit message came, we were not liking it. Why it has happened, why it should happen. But then one has to accept the God decision. With this word, I think the lot one can talk, but I believe the time is over. Nidhi, the time is I've completed my timing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that's more than sufficient. Thank you so much for giving me this patient hearing, and one can share with your own people only the experience and whatever is there. Thank you very much, and thank you to the Manish and Vasant Deshpande and all other colleagues. Go on doing it and give this. You see, I have only one thing. The kind of the relationship with what is this relationship? This is your Tauji. your father, your chacha, what is the senior, elder brother? This lot which is served the council, result council chapter, and experience. I will not say only on the office bearer, but also the people who have not come to get elected. But there are a number of people who I find 1,000 times, 100 times better than me from many experience and many maturity. So this dialogue, Sandeep ji, is thankful to you with Manish ji and all of you, and keep on doing it. Thank you very much. And Amit and Priyanka, I mean, I don't have to repeat at this open forum. You know the relationship. I mean, all best to you. And Shaurya ji is wherever he is happy. He's happy. He's wherever he is. Thank you so much, and we are happy because a soul like him, he will be always happy. Who has not done any harm to anybody. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your inspiring and encouraging words on this special day. Dear friends, dear members, dear student and respected panelists, it is indeed a great pride that today we are having with us Mrs. Saroja Devi Chauraria, wife of late Chauraria sir. Ma'am, welcome to you. मैम नमस्कार, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आज के प्रोग्राम के लिए. आपके आने से इस प्रोग्राम की शोभा और बढ़ गई है. हम चाहते हैं मैडम आप थोड़ा बहुत सर के बारे में, अपनी मेमोरीज के बारे में हम लोगों के साथ शेयर कीजिए. मैम आपको हमारी आवाज आ रही है मैम?
हाँ, आपकी आवाज आ रही है दीदी.
मैम आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आज के इस कार्यक्रम में. आपके आने से हमारे कार्यक्रम की शोभा और बढ़ी है. धन्यवाद आपका आगमन के लिए. आप कुछ बताइए मैडम अबाउट सर. आप कुछ याद है अपनी?
Ma'am, I think we will keep it on some other day.
Pardon sir, your voice is not clear.
I'm saying that we will keep it on some other day.
Okay.
Another day, she will share her experience.
Sure,
This is a bit emotional.
Sure, sir.
Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
As today we are remembering late C.S. H.M. Chauraria ji, we are thankful to him for the legacy which he has left behind us, and urge the student, our prospective members, to take a cue and follow on his footsteps. We are greatly thankful to President Sir, Vice President Sir, Secretary Sir, and Srivastava Sir, Joint Secretary, and the entire team of Directorate of Student Services and Training for their continuous support throughout the program. I would like to convey sincere thanks to all the panelists for taking out time from their busy schedule and enlightening us with their knowledge. A special thanks to the family member of late C.S. H.M. Chauraria ji. Your esteemed presence make the program more meaningful and special. Before closing the session, a very big thanks to CS students and members connected with us today. I request all the students keep checking their emails for further programs related to Student Month. Thank you all. It is indeed a great pleasure to host this program. Thank you so much.